Hello, friends, and welcome to Bachelor Remedies with Dr. Amit from actually Swarup Clinic. For the last 2 days, I was posting with more frequent. I was posting videos more frequently, and I got two messages from two different viewers that why are you posting videos from your home and why not from your clinic? Because I don't know. So I just felt that okay, let's do a video from clinic after the morning clinic hours are over. So this is a video on the remedy pine from directly from Solo Clinic. Okay, yeah. So pine remedy is basically for undue guilt. Just the way we describe cherry plum as anything to do with control, whenever control makes your life miserable, when control makes your life problematic, you give cherry plum. When responsibility becomes a difficulty or a problem or a burden in your life, give elm. In the same manner, when guilt becomes a problem, when guilt becomes a burden, when guilt becomes something that disturbs your productivity, your mental balance, your thought process, your emotional process, and your what we can say, you that makes you restless. Think about pine. So when I said guilt, it's not only guilt; it's undue guilt. Now, what do you mean by undue guilt? Undue guilt can be either which is something which is more intense than what is expected, or when it is which I call it as a disproportionate guilt. You have made some mistake, but you feel guilty twofold or threefold more than what rationally the guilt that you should be feeling. That is one indication for going for pine. Or the other indication is when you should not be feeling guilty, when it's not your mistake and still you consider yourself as the culprit, when you consider yourself as responsible for those particular things and feeling guilty, that undue guilt, that's also another way of going to pine, or that's the another indication for pine. Now let's see uh, two with an example so that we can understand how to decide when to give pine. Undue or disproportionate guilt is you were playing at home because now you cannot go outside, and you were playing some tennis or some cricket or something, and you hit some glass bottle. Now that glass bottle is not a very costly thing. It's not a very uh, unique and काफी क्या बोलते हैं some article which was there in the museum. It's a regular glass bottle. It was you just hit a ball and you broke that glass bottle, which can be bought for 10, 20, 15 rupees again. So that's not a big deal, to be very frank. You break that bottle and then you feel guilty that you just stop playing cricket forever. Now that's a disproportionate undue guilt. I had one patient. I remember he mentioned that when he was trying to learn driving a car at a young age, by mistake he had hit a young boy, and he did take care of all his medical expenses, all these things. The boy was not hit so much, but after that, this patient of mine, uh, he left driving the car. So he constantly used taxis, cabs, or drivers and this thing, but he never drove himself. That's the undue guilt, and he said that was a repentance towards the hurt that I had made to that boy. Now this is undue guilt. This is disproportionate guilt that we are talking about. Or when you do a particular thing and some when you it's not your fault, but still you feel guilty, that's another way of uh, giving pine. For example, your maid servant is cleaning the vessels, or uh, she's cleaning, and she breaks some glass bottle. Now it is not your fault, it is her fault. But then a pine person will think, oh, I should have told her that it's a glass, it's made up of glass, so just clean it more delicately or take care while cleaning it. So instead of getting angry at her, angry at the maid servant, she will feel guilty about herself that I should have actually, I should have told her that this is this is made up of glass, so take care of that. Now the problem or the fault or the mistake is entirely of the maid servant. She knows it's made up of glass. She knows the physics that it can break if she doesn't handle it properly. Now the entire problem, mistake, and all the this thing is of the maid servant. But if the master is fine, then she will take the entire blame on herself. In this manner, pine is exactly opposite to willow. If you haven't seen the video on willow, please watch that video. In contrast with pine, pine are the people who feel the entire problems, entire whatever is happening, they are responsible for that. Whereas willow are exactly opposite. They never consider that they will never blame themselves for anything. Even though they have made the mistake, they will never blame themselves, and they will feel the entire world is at fault, and they are completely they are as क्या बोलते हैं, as pure as uh, Ganga Jal. So willow are the people who will never blame themselves, whereas pine are the people who will always blame themselves for even other people's mistakes. If somebody is uh, if somebody if you are in an examination hall, and the person who is sitting your friend is sitting behind or in on the other bench, he asks you for an answer. Now that's copy, and ideally you should not be doing a copy in the exam. So a pine person will never like to do copy. So he will say, no, I won't help you during the exams because that's not legal. That's not done. I won't, I can't. But still he will feel very guilty because he didn't help the friend in the so-called illegal activities. This is fine. This is undue guilt. So either the guilt is disproportionate, or guilt is, if the guilt is coming where there should not be any reason for getting feeling guilty, that's the indication for pine. We do meet many people who get tormented, who get disturbed because of the guilt. So if the guilt is making problem in your life, if guilt is making you restless, if guilt is making your productivity to go down, think about pine and get yourself better with the use of such flower remedies. If you want to know more about flower remedies, and if you want to learn flower remedy from a scratch through our online uh, batch that we will be starting in Hindi and English from the next month. Please subscribe to our channel. Please share this channel with your friends and get more and more people to join this channel, because we will be starting a free to learn online course through YouTube very soon. Thank you.